Recording now?
Yeah, we're recording now.
Okay, yes, he's Night, I'm Day. He's Mutilator as opposed to Mutilator. So we can't get that mixed up, you know? I mean, probably in Afghanistan we found Mutilator, but not here. And we're being filmed by a Yankees fan, so we cover all bases.
It's awesome to meet you. Ever since King of Kong, I've just been obsessed. I've watched that movie like we were just talking about. So tell me.
How many times have you seen it?
King of Kong?
Yeah.
I don't know, like 30, 40 times.
Holy smoke.
I mean, it's one of these things where I was watching pinball movies and I was watching video game movies. That's all I cared about, video games and pinball.
Okay. You'll learn over time that I'm one of those people who critique the King of Kong because, you know, there's so many things that aren't true in it. However, I'm very aware of the fact that it's viewed as a work of art. It's become a legend. It's one of those things that became greater than even the sum of its parts. You know what I mean?
So what was it? You said it was ranked what? You were talking about it was ranked on something.
Recently, some film historians who are film critics, they reviewed 3,000 of the most recent films that were made over the last 10 years, over the last decade, to try and select their 30 greatest films out of the last decade.
Yeah.
And out of the 3,000 films, they placed The King of Kong as number 29.
So
29 out of all those thousands and thousands of films, because it's become a legend. It's become an amazing thing.
It's a cult phenomenon.
It's a cult classic that has actually broken out of the realm of just being a cult classic because people all over the world now watch it. Wait, we have a guest. We have a guest intervention.
We started this back in the day.
Here we have, this is an amazing surprise. You knew I was going to be here?
Yes, I live down the street.
This is Maria Estrada, face the camera. Maria Estrada used to be one of the special workers at Twin Galaxies almost 20 years ago now,
almost 20 years?
Almost 20 years ago. And she's even more beautiful now than she used to be almost 20 years ago. So I didn't even know you lived here. She's showing pictures of us 2000 at the Classic Gaming Expo.
This is the best.
Sort of
And this is was this your photograph you took this? And here's the photo she took of me on the Fremont experience. You got to get close on that one. We're talking about July of 2000.
One of the first ones in Las Vegas.
One thing that people don't realize is that the film has been chosen by educators all over the world to show to their entire student bodies or their classrooms every year. Because to them it's
such a lesson.
To them it's a tour de force about ethics, about good versus bad, hero versus villain. Also, film classes watch it to demonstrate how you can take a story and move it in any direction you want by creative editing. Because the story that actually happened doesn't really match up with the story they put in the movie. Because they specifically made Billy Mitchell a victim purposefully and Steve Wiebe a hero.
Right.
For instance,
that's what I was going to ask you, because I knew that had to have been definitely.
Well, do you remember one of those final scenes when Billy finally comes into the arcade and he walks behind Steve and Steve turns around and says, "Hey, Billy," and Billy snubs him and walks by?
Oh, right.
Well, in reality, Billy stops and they have a warm interaction. And it's all filmed, but they purposely cut it out and then strategize the editing so it looks like Billy snubs him. Because she worked at Twin Galaxies when it was a big deal, but now it's even 1,000 times bigger.
So what was it like when you were?
It was awesome. It was gaming every day.
Yeah.
I worked in the events department where we would set up the events. But it's in Iowa and it's awesome.
See, Twin Galaxies actually got bought by a Hollywood producer named Jace Hall, who's a computer whiz and all sorts of stuff, and he's expanded the company, expanded the appeal, and he has a pretty big budget and a pretty big staff, and they work out of Hollywood itself. And so they're developing Twin Galaxies to be what it always was growing to be the official contest adjudicator, high score adjudicator, organizer of the video game culture, and it's a very big phenomenon now.
Let's say video games never happened. What do you think you would be doing right now?
Maybe I would have done music more.
More music?
Maybe more music. Maybe
Yeah.
write my science fiction novels, because those are the two big things I want to finish: science fiction novel writing and doing music.
And do you have a novel in the works right now?
Oh yeah, I mean I have a seriously developed concept that I really like, and I think about it often, but I'm still getting closure on the video game thing, and I love doing the trading cards. I've designed about 2,500 trading cards. That's why I brought that. 2,500 trading cards, and out of those 2,500, over 1,500 of them have actually been printed.
So you do this for like the events, you do this for
Yeah,
people,
for people.
in the industry.
Yeah.
People
For
you know.
designers, for players, for
That's
events.
so cool. You should do
for-
one for Night Mutilator.
Yep.
That would be the
I was looking at the
greatest.
guest list online. I thought we should do one for Night Mutilator.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, we're going to pronounce it Mutilator. I got into the world of video game and pinball playing because, well, I opened up an arcade called Twin Galaxies back in 1981, literally as an excuse to be able to play more and more video games. So I'd be up there in my new arcade playing video games with a 15-year-old, those olders, till like 2 in the morning every night, because I love video games so much. But also I was very, very, very intrigued by video game playing as a competitive sport. And before I opened up my arcade, I actually traveled around from arcade to arcade, and I used to log down high scores that I'd find on video games. And I actually went on a sort of a pilgrimage to try and find a Pac-Man player who had an alleged elevated high score, and I wanted to find out if it was true, if anybody could get a score that high. So I never found the person, but I think I got to the arcade where he commonly played, but they wouldn't tell me who he was for some reason. But I've been intrigued by video game playing as a competitive sport since the very beginning. And pinball and video game are brothers.
Right.
Okay, brothers or cousins, whatever, because they're both electronic games. They're both commonly found in an arcade kind of setting, and they both have tremendous competition capabilities wrapped around them, with leagues and champions and world belts and tournament prizes. And
But did you play pinball a lot, or did you?
No.
Were you just a gamer?
when I first opened up my arcade, at least in my area, all the arcades in my area were segueing away from pinball.
Oh, right.
And the reason for that is because, as we all know, pinball can break down more easily than video game. And there's a lot more repair costs for pinball. And so at that time, video games were so successful and so hot that people were playing pinball less and less and less. So it was hard for someone to buy a brand new pinball and for it to pay for itself by the amount of tokens or quarters that we put in it. That's back in the 81, 82 era. So all the arcades that I was associated with way back then, they were moving away from pinball because not many people were playing it at that time, and video games would make far, far more money on the arcade floor than a pinball.
Right.
So I didn't have a lot of access to pinball, and some people would submit pinball scores to us as my Twin Galaxy scoreboard became more and more well known. But it would be one pinball score for 1,000 video game scores. It was just completely, the rage was video game. It lasted for years. But then since then, pinball became lively again. Pinball's a big deal. And you see now that pinball has a very, very developed and a very amazing league structure and organization,
Right.
society and culture, and so pinball completely holds its own. Man vs. Snake is going to be released on June 24th.
Okay.
What is that, 2 weeks from now maybe?
2 weeks.
Two,
yeah.
2 9,
Yeah.
just about 2 weeks from now.
Yep. So it'll be on DVD.
Yeah,
and
on Saturday.
Blu-ray.
Yeah, it'll be on DVD and Blu-ray, and it will also have all the different online delivery services will be carrying it, so you can buy it as a digital version.
Okay.
So it's the story of Tim McVeigh,
Yep.
not the terrorist, but
Right.
another guy with a different spelling, and he in 1984 at Twin Galaxies was the first person to score 1 billion points on a video game. It was Nibbler, and it had 9 digits, so it would show when a person reached, the score capabilities had 9 digits, so it would show when a person would reach 1 billion points. And after 7 tries, and his main competitor, his name was Tom Asaki, I think he did 7 attempts too. And by the 7th attempt, he finally did it, and we were able to turn it into a world story. It was in lots of magazines. It went across all the wires, I think most of the wire services, if not all of them. The mayor of the city of Ottumwa, Iowa, proclaimed a civic day in his honor,
Really?
called Tim McVeigh Day. So it was kind of a big thing. So a couple of filmmakers learned that story, and they did a feature documentary film. I think it's like 90 minutes long. It's a big full-range movie.
Yeah,
with lots of graphics.
I saw the trailer, and it portrayed a different Billy Mitchell than I was,
Billy.
I was thinking.
See, Billy Mitchell's quite wonderful. You're going to really like him. So Billy Mitchell is in it. I'm in it. Tim McVeigh's the star. Then there's a few other people who are stars. So me and Billy are kind of like supporting cast. That we say this and we say that. But some other people are more involved in the actual storyline. Tim McVeigh and Dwayne Richard and a few other people are more involved in the storyline, and we're kind of like supporting cast
Well,
who make commentary. Oh, it's going to be a very popular movie. Well, I love the people, I love the games. I'm always amazed by pinball, and at every show I go to, it seems that I see new pinball I've never seen before. I can't figure out how that's possible because I've been to so many shows. But there'll always be some shows that have some pinball I've never seen before. And it's just fun. The people are fun.
I'm in a cut.
You're great.
You are awesome.
You're more than awesome.
I love you, Walter.